Hey guys, welcome aboard, Deppel here. This is Toronto Buttonville Airport and this is Piper's Super Cub amphibian. We're getting ready to get going on our little adventure today. We're going up to Victoria Lake. This is a tiny little lake about 50 miles north of Toronto. And we're going camping there. Just about ready to go here. Putting the lights on and just rolling onto the runway. We're going to be going VFR, obviously, and I'm not going to use the GPS. Not going to use the GPS. Hopefully we're not going to get lost this time. All right, let's get going. Come on, steady. Keep it steady. Get the gear up. Let's trim it a little bit. And we ought to stay below 1,500 feet for now. Just stay below the Class Charlie airspace here. Not going to use the GPS again today. Hopefully we're not going to get lost. Alright, I reckon we can get climbing a little higher. Let's go to 2,500 feet at this point. And we should be able to follow this road right here most of the way to city of Newmarket, birthplace of Jim Carrey. This right here is Aurora, and just beyond that, it sort of blends into Newmarket. Slightly further on north, we should hit Lake Simcoe. We'll follow that northeast, and yeah, we'll go from there. Newmarket, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen. I think I can make out Lake Simcoe on the horizon. And once we get there, we're going to continue northeast along the lake. Then follow a river. And fly roughly northeast. Follow the waterways there, pretty distinct waterways. And that should get us to our destination, little camping site of ours. Oh, I hope I don't get lost this time. I'm usually pretty good at this, believe it or not. If you haven't seen my last video, go check it out. I went flying in a helicopter and got too obsessed with the scenery that I completely forgot to keep track of where I am. I just completely got lost and by some miracle managed to find my airport. That is Lake Simcoe, you can see at our 11 to 12 o'clock. Straight ahead is Georgina Island. I wanted to hug the shore, but I guess we don't have to do that. We can cut across the lake here a little bit. There is another island up ahead, Thora Island. should be straight ahead from here. And just beyond that is the river that we have to follow further northeast. So this is Georgina Island. Looking pretty. Oh, there's the next island. Lovely. Hit me up. Turn a few degrees to the left so we can hit that island, especially with the wind blowing from the west, so we don't get blown off course too much. That's Tora Island. Okay, let me actually turn towards the shoreline a little bit. As long as we can see the island, we can figure out where the river is. And it actually should be right there, straight ahead, I think. If I'm not mistaken. Lovely. And you can see lots of float planes around these parts, flying around in real world. I mean, so many people have float planes because there's so many lakes, and lots of people have cabins and different properties way up north. And you can either drive for a few hours and then take a canoe, or you can spend 20 minutes in a plane. I don't know, what would I prefer? And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love hiking and camping, but this is just so much fun. There you can see where the river ends up in the lake. There it is. Lovely. I'm not lost. That's lovely. Okay. So roughly this general direction should get us to another couple of small lakes that end up in Balsam Lake. And once we're there, we're pretty much there. The reason I'm actually flying to this Lake Victoria, it's a small lake that we're going to get to. I am doing sort of a kind of a recreation of a camping trip that we did with a friend of mine. We took a canoe and drove most of the way there. Took much longer than this is taking, believe me. And the only way you can get to Victoria Lake, well, actually, we kind of wanted to go to Wolf Lake, which is next lake over. But the only way you can get to Victoria or Wolf Lake is by getting across multiple lakes on a canoe. So we had to paddle across a lake, then get out of it, carry it through dense brush. Well, the first one was, it was a pretty well-traveled path that we had to get the canoe across to the next lake, then get into the canoe, paddle across another lake, get out, carry it through a less traveled path, do it again, paddle across another lake. And by the third or fourth time, it was just impenetrable bush, just dense woods. And we literally saw black bears walking around, no people at all. And it took us roughly, I think it was 6 or maybe 8 hours to get to Victoria Lake. And we wanted to, originally the plan was to get to Wolf Lake, which is another lake over, but we knew it was getting late. And we knew we had to set up camp, and it would get dark soon. So we decided to camp at Victoria Lake. Once again, there's no people, there's no one there. It's complete wilderness out there. Because, through the first, maybe the second lake. A bunch of people get through there. By the time you get to Victoria Lake, there's no one there. And as we paddle across, we see this little cabin on the shore. And what is parked in front of it? Why, an amphibian airplane. I think it was a 172 or 182. An amphibian Cessna's just sitting there. And that's pretty much the only other way to get to this lake, because it's either 6 hours of paddling and hauling a canoe on your back through dense woods, or just fly there. So I figured I'm gonna do the flying thing. This is the north tip of Balsam Lake, which I'm sure we passed on our little journey. Now, there's a lot of lakes and waterways here. Let's try not to get lost. I'm trying to see where I should be here. So, okay, yeah, I see the lake. That's straight ahead of us. We should go slightly northeast. Okay. Power lines and town, yes. Norland, Ontario, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, dudes? So this lake here, this is where our journey started. Our canoe journey started. We parked the car around here somewhere and got the canoe down to the lake and paddled across this little guy here to the north tip of this lake here. We got out of it from here. There's this little creek going here, but you can't take a canoe through it. It's too shallow in most places, but there's a path going through, going parallel to this little creek. So all this distance we had to carry a heavy canoe with a bunch of stuff to get to the second lake. Right here. This guy here. And we had to paddle across all of this water. Okay. Just double checking with the map here. Let's reduce the power a little bit. Continuing our little descent because we're pretty much there. So as we got here to the north tip of this lake, once again, same thing. Get out. Carry the canoe through the woods. Through the forest. And I think either this lake or the next lake, we actually encountered a beaver dam in the middle of it. And as we got to it, we realized that the water beyond the dam is like a whole foot lower than what we are in. So we had to get out, step out onto the actual beaver dam, and while standing on it, had to carry the canoe over it, then jump back in and continue on. I think it might have been this little guy here. Might have been in this lake. So, same thing, carry through the woods, onto the lake, through the lake, and I'm pretty sure this is Victoria Lake. Yep, that's it. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Victoria Lake. Okay. And that lake, the next lake over is Wolf Lake. It was so close, but we just decided it's best to get set up for the night because it was already getting dark, and so we parked it and started setting up camp, and by the time we were done, it was pitch black, so that was a good decision, I think. Okay. Yeah. Get my turn going. Let's get some flaps going too. Actually get full flaps going. It's going to be a very short approach. I want to end up roughly where we parked with the canoe, which is that little bit that stands out into the lake with the tree. Damn, and Wolf Lake was so close too. It's right there. And we didn't make it, but it took us like 6 hours or 8 hours to get to this lake, so there we are. There we are. Yeah, this is the bit where we stayed. Of course, it looks a bit different. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect. Perfect. Alrighty. Let's shut down the engine. Oops. There we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Victoria Lake. Have a safe stay, and I'll see you all guys next time. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you all guys.